What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about people. This video is gonna be about the types of people who like they change their personality or like no, or they change how they view themselves only because they're in a connection or because they're in a romantic relationship, right? So this usually applies to females, but this can apply to men as well. I've seen it happen. So this video is gonna be about like we're like people who really have nothing to offer in their own life, but once they're in a romantic relationship, then they feel like they're somebody, or like they feel like their life has a meaning, or like the only thing they fully rely on is their partner. And I've seen this happen with a lot of people that I've observed, and especially on social media, where like these same people like they'll always post their partners, or like they'll post their kids, or like they'll post their own family and stuff like that. But yet, when it comes to their own personal life, they have no substance. When it comes to their personal life, they got nothing going on really. The only thing they got going on is their relationship, pretty much. So I'm gonna talk about this. So like this shit gets annoying because this is like because these people, they have no substance, they got nothing to offer really. But once they're in a connection, because they're at their vibration, and just because they're at their vibration, it doesn't mean it has to be high. But just because they meet somebody that's good for them, it doesn't mean they're a good person. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means that God wanted them to experience this shit, right? But these same people who are in a connection, and usually they have nothing to offer without them being in a connection. Like they got nothing going on in life. They're in the same situation, or they got all they do is brag about their partner. Yet in their own personal life, they're not a good person, or in their own personal life, they got nothing going on. They got nothing that they're looking forward to. They're not doing anything special or great, or they have no type of momentum in life. But yet the only thing they can rely on is their partner. The only thing they talk about is their partner. The only thing they could go to is their partner. So I don't want to be that type of person. I want to be the type of person where like I have a lot of things going on in my own personal life. I have good self-development going on. Usually people I feel like who have a lot of things going on, people who are very like self-reliant, these people tend to be single most of the times because it's hard for them to find people that are for them. It's hard to find people that are in their same wavelength because most people aren't really improving themselves. Most people aren't doing the healing work. Most people aren't really like self-sacrificing in order for them to become a better person. Most people aren't ascending like that. So this is why like if anything, that's why there's a lot of selfish people, there's a lot of narcissistic people, there's a lot of generational curses and stuff like that. It's because people they are refusing to do the healing work, and because they're refusing to do the healing work, they're gonna stay where they at. And since they're not evolving, spirit, God, or the universe or life has no choice but to make them settle with a partner that's gonna maintain their wavelength pretty much. If these same people were decided to like improve themselves or just go on a healing journey, then I feel like they'll be single. But because they refuse to do the healing work, God is gonna meet them where they're at pretty much, and that's why they're able to meet partners easily. But either that or it's just part of their life path not to evolve like that, and that's fine because a lot of people have different life purposes. A lot of people are meant to do big things in life. Other people are meant to do not so much big things. And other people they're meant to be like famous and well known, and other people aren't meant to be famous and well known. Some people are meant to break generational curses and do big things, and some people aren't. So it's just nothing wrong with that, but this is how it is. Usually, I've noticed a pattern. Usually, people who are meant to do great things in life and big things, God tends to block them from meeting a divine partner for them. It'll be the opposite. God will meet partners who are against them and the opposite of them. People who will screw them over, people who will fuck them over, ghost them, betray them, and stuff like that because they have a higher calling. So God will purposely put these people around partners that aren't good for them, even though these people are good people. But God wants to put these people against other people that aren't good for them because so they can heal, become a better version of themselves because they have a greater calling. So they have to go through more bullshit, they have to go through more obstacles, and they have to go through more healing. They have to go through more suffering and pain because the higher of their calling. So that's pretty much how it happens in this lifetime. Pretty much, I experience this a lot because I've noticed myself. I feel like I have a lot of things to offer than the average person. I take care of myself. I have a lot of things going on. I have good communication skills, but for some reason I can't maintain a partner. It's not because I'm the problem, even though it does take two people to be the problem. It's not solely my fault. It's because God is not putting the right people in my life compared to the other people. Because the people you meet, you don't have control over that. God really does have control over that. Most people, when they meet people, they're not searching for them. They're not putting themselves out there. They're not. If anything, they feel guided to go out, and God will like orchestrate a situation to where they'll meet their partner, stuff like that. They're not exploring out there. They're not. Even if they are, it's because they feel guided to do that. So, and while other people, they'll chase for partners, they're against like they're using their free will to look for partners, but they can't find any because God is blocking that path because they have a different life path. So, but usually people who are in connections, don't compare yourself like that because one, they got nothing going on in their life mostly, especially if they brag about their partners, they post their partners online. Me, if I have a partner, I don't like to post my partner online on social media because there's no point. There's nothing to prove. And I'm not judging people, but people who do that is like these same people I've noticed, they got nothing going on in their life pretty much. They got nothing going on. They got nothing to offer, So that's all I got to say. Have a good one. Peace.